guys, it's MJ and welcome back to Pet Adventures again. So today I am answering some of you guys' questions. I thought it would be really fun. Sometimes I don't really get to you guys' questions in the comments as much as I do, or as much as I should, I mean. Sometimes I'll take like one day to answer a bunch of questions out of my week, and that is just not how I should be doing it. A lot of the times I'll do that, and sometimes I don't even get to do that. I am working quite often at the pet store, and then I'm also doing 2 videos a week for you guys, and then working on my website and merchandise and all that kind of stuff. A lot of that altogether takes up a lot of my time, but you guys are a main priority and you always come first, so I want to see if I could just make a little video just dedicated to you. So without further ado, let's answer some questions. Scream Queen Shaw says, doing research now, mom that daughter is trying to turn into a rat lover. Do you know if 12 is too young to get a rat? Well, as I kind of always say, it really depends on the kid. I've met so many 12-year-olds that are responsible and they do their research for the reptile or the rat, the mouse, hamster, whatever it is they're getting. And I've met 12-year-olds who know almost as much as I do about a certain animal, and I'm like, wow, you go. So it really depends on the kid. It really, really does, because you know, some kids are just not willing to do any research, and they're just not willing to, you know, really put forth any effort into it, and then the parent often has to, you know, take care of it. So you don't want any of that. Honestly, just make sure that your 12-year-old, like, you know your 12-year-old. If you know your 12-year-old and you know that they're going to take care of it really well, go ahead and get them all the stuff that they need, as long as they do all their research. Make sure that they do all their research and that they start cleaning and taking care of the animal right away. I originally had the rat food that you have, but then I switched because I thought that he should have more of a variety like corn and sunflower seeds, but does it really matter which one is better? I always recommend my food over any other foods. If you don't know what kind of food I use, right now I use the Oxbow Essentials for my adult rats, and for the small baby rats, you can always use the block form of Oxbow, and that's for young rat and mouse. Now the reason why I recommend that is because the Oxbow just has straight nutrition in it, and it has everything that rats need as far as a stable diet. You do need variety in your rat's diet, but not in that way. Sunflower seeds and corn are not necessarily healthy for rats. If you're feeding them that right now, of course it's okay. Just, you know, as soon as you use up that food, I would switch right back to Oxbow. I highly recommend Oxbow because I've done tons and tons and tons of research on rat food, and if you see a fly, there's a fly going around here and it's making me super mad. I'm sorry, but yeah, I would probably just use up the corn and sunflower seed mix that you're using, and then I would switch right back to Oxbow because it really is just pretty healthy for them. But sunflower seeds and corn, they're not necessarily that healthy. Sunflower seeds you could probably feed sparingly, and corn isn't going to hurt them, but these are things that they really can't digest very well, along with alfalfa meal, that kind of thing. So if you're feeding them that, just get off that as soon as you can and get back to the Oxbow. No harsh feelings on it though. I just, you know, I know my good health on the ratties as far as most things go. Someone asked, is Lucky neutered yet? So no, I haven't neutered Lucky, and I probably won't just because Lucky started getting aggressive at a very young age, and I think that most of his aggression has a lot to do with him being badly bred. It's possible, highly possible, that the parents he had bad genes, and they were also very, 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 you know, not so nice. And of course getting him neutered would help, but I don't plan on doing that, at least not anytime soon or anything like that. But no, he ain't neutered yet. Celia S. commented, I know this is unrelated to the video, but I adopted my aunt's leopard geckos a few days ago. The last couple of days I've been trying to get him to eat, and he sort of seems interested, but even tries to bite the mealworms and crickets, but quickly gives up. I know she didn't give him any calcium powder, but I've been providing more to him, some plus. I give him the heat mat too, which he seems to be enjoying. Do you think that he's getting used to his new environment, or could it be something else? Okay, well Celia, I would probably say that right now he's just adjusting. If your leopard gecko or any reptile is not eating within the first, like, I would say a whole month, then I would probably worry. But the first few weeks of any reptile, whether it's a snake, leopard gecko, crested gecko, whatever it is, a lot of the times they won't eat. I've even had my pet rats not eat the first few days that they're at their new home, just because they are super scared. I remember wondering why my leopard gecko wouldn't eat when he was a baby, and I realized that he was just, when I first brought him home, of course, he was just really, really, really scared. And also, you have to take into account, make sure that you're giving him the right size crickets, because often I realize that reptiles won't even bother eating a certain insect unless they know it's the right size for them. So try smalls, try mediums, try large, alternate, try mealworms, try every kind of worms if you can, except superworms. You don't want to do superworms because they're not good for leopard geckos, I would say, but they are good for certain reptiles that tend to bite down more on their food and really kill it very well. But yeah, I would just give him some time. He's probably adjusting. You know, make sure you're giving him the right size, the right amounts. If he doesn't want to strike at it directly and hunt for it, what you can do is you can take some big feeder tongs or even tweezers. Since it's just a leopard gecko, it won't really matter how big the tweezy thingies are. Just take the tongs or tweezers, whatever you have, with the worm or the cricket in it, and see if they'll eat it right in front too. I noticed that sometimes I have to do that with my leopard gecko Tinkerbell, because she doesn't do too well with hunting because of the deficiency she has in her bones, so she can't run as fast, that kind of thing. She still gets around pretty well for a deformed gecko, but yeah, just try different things. And I would say don't worry unless it's been like a month or something and they're not eating, then I would definitely worry. But if it's only the first 2 weeks or so, they're probably just adjusting, and always make sure that you're feeding them the right size. So Kimberly Solano commented, I've been trying to convince my parents to let me get a ball python, and I'm curious, can you take them anywhere whenever they're not like shedding recently or just ate, like say the mall, you just want to take your baby, that's what I call my pet, sorry, out with you, because that would be really cool to be with your baby and get to show them off a little bit, teach people some things that you just talked about. He's talking about me. Also, I think that snakes are, I don't think that snakes are evil or rubbish. How in the Bible, you know, Satan disguised himself as a snake. Still, if anyone knows, can you tell me if I could take my ball python out with me somewhere? So, basically what he's asking here, or what she's asking here is, you know, can you take your snake out when it recently ate or it's shedding? And in my opinion, I don't really think this is the best thing, just because when your snake is shedding, they're in a lot of stress, and you know, they're kind of just, at that time, they really just want to be in their enclosure. Also, when they just ate, they're also not going to want to be handled too often either. Of course, you can handle them like a few days after they just ate, max, I mean, I guess about 2 days is fine after they just ate. But the thing is they do need to be in their enclosure a bit more after they recently ate so that they can properly digest everything. And that is when, like, that's basically like when they need to go to their heat mat, they need to have that, you know, available at any time. You know, I would just say at least give it about 2 days or something after they ate, and if they're in the middle of shedding, make sure that at least most of their shed is off if you're going to be taking them anywhere. If there's just a tiny bit of shed on them, like maybe a tiny bit of shed like on their tail or something, that's perfectly fine. Just make sure they're not going in full shed, because they're not going to have a fun time being in shed and being out and about anyways. You want them to have a good experience. Gon Carlos Pets asks, will you do a video on gecko care? I think this is really cool, a really cool suggestion, because I actually was looking into gecko care for a long time, and I think they're super cute. They basically look like a more wild version of a chinchilla. So I think that would be really cool to do something on gecko care. So I really do think in the future I will do gecko care. Maybe not anytime soon, because there's still a lot of videos I'm kind of thinking about putting out first right now, but great suggestion. I think I'll do it. Tay asked, can you please sell some leopard geckos? And same person also asked, can you do a room tour? First of all, I will be selling leopard gecko, baby leopard geckos in the future on my website. I am not doing that anytime soon. The first few animals I will be selling is lots of balloon mollies, and that will be on my website, which will be launching in a little bit, very soon. Almost done with it. So when I first launched my website, by the way, I don't think I'm gonna have merchandise on there at first. I'm gonna have something called Amazon products, which are products that I kind of just want to recommend to you guys that you can buy on Amazon. But by supporting me, you will basically buy those products from my website first. You know, you'll click on them on my website first. But yeah, I'll be selling leopard geckos on my site. I will be planning on breeding and I'll also be doing crested gecko babies, and there should be in the very far future there'll be like rat babies, and I'll definitely sell fish on there, no problem, because I have no problem breeding balloon mollies or any kind of live bearers. I'll probably also sell really cool baby platies and things like that. So Tay, rest assured I will. And she also asked, can you do a room tour? I have told you guys this a lot. I don't feel comfortable doing a room tour because I do not like the way my room looks. I know that I have like all these cute pets, and you guys probably think I have like an awesome room, but I don't. I don't really like the way my room looks. I just don't. I don't have a fancy room or anything like that. It's nothing pretty. It's nothing to really show off that much. So I don't mind showing you guys my pets, but as far as my house and my room goes, no, not really. I'll do it in the future someday. I plan on moving in a few years, but not at this moment and not anytime soon. Love All Furries commented, do you take the media out? I was recommended to do that when my tank had ick. And you are supposed to basically take at least your activated carbon out, just because the activated carbon basically, like, it kind of sucks up all of the medication that you're giving to your fish, and the whole thing just gets messed up. So always take out activated carbon when you're doing any kind of treatment, not just for ick or any, you know, just that treatment, but you should never have activated carbon with basically any medications that you're using for your fish. And I actually just recently did a blog post on my website a little bit more in depth about preventing ick. Marco Cordes asked, how much does it cost per month for one cat for everything like food and vets? For 1 month, food is extremely cheap, even if you get the highest quality food. If you only have one cat, you'll probably be getting a medium-sized bag. I buy a larger bag because I currently have 5 cats. But it's very cheap. It can be as cheap as only like $30 a month for one cat for the food. I mean, that's kind of my expenses. For the vet, most likely just for checkups, you'll only be taking checkups about once to twice a year, and depending on your vet, you know, the cost shouldn't be too much, but on average you shouldn't spend more than $200 on the vet. If it's just a regular checkup, it should range between $100 to $150, something like that. So just paying for one cat, vets, and food and even toys and expenses shouldn't be too much. Cats are actually pretty cheap pets, even when you have to take them to the vet. If it's an extreme cost, that's not going to be happening every single year. So even if you have an expensive vet trip for your cat, it still shouldn't be a lot. Mia Cullen asked, can rats live by themselves or do they need a buddy? Basically, rats should always have a buddy. Now, just because you guys see Lucky live alone does not mean it is okay. I have one rat that lives alone, and I would do anything to give him a buddy. I would do anything like that if I could get him a buddy. I tried so many times to introduce him to my other rats and have things go well. But you can only do that so many times before everyone starts getting hurt. I didn't want any major damage being caused to Charlie and Oscar just because I wanted to keep testing out if Lucky could go with rats or not. I also in the past have introduced Lucky to other rats. When I went to work sometimes I would try to see how he reacted to other rats. He just hates them. He hates them, and he's not even great with people. He's not really like a people rat like most rats are. That's the joy about keeping rats. You kind of think like, oh, they're basically all good with people. They're so sweet, but not the case with him. But you should never have rats alone. If you have the option, get as many rats as you can, as long as it's not absurd. But the more rats, the better. You should never have them alone unless it is just not something you can control. Malik McCollin asked, what type of cat breed is Lucy? She looks like a Burmese or a Bombay. Please correct me if I'm wrong or tell me if I'm right. Well, that's actually perfect. Lucy is actually a Bombay. I don't believe that she's a full-bred Bombay, but she can pass basically for a Bombay. If you don't know what a Bombay is, it is American Shorthair mixed with a Burmese cat, and that's really cool. She has the copper penny eyes, and she has like the paw pads are black. Every single part of Lucy is black. There is not one white spot on her, which makes her pass basically for a Bombay. I don't really believe that her parents were full bred or anything like that, but she could pass. She could pass. What's up, kids? Asked, how do you clean your cute little ratty's fleece? Very simple. I just stick it in the washer. It's not a lot of work since my rats actually mostly poop either at the bottom of their cage or just straight in their litter box. Over time, by the way, my rats have become litter box trained to a T. I remember when I first got my rats, Charlie and Oscar, they were really bad about pooping in the litter box, like they barely ever made it. And now to a T, I hardly ever find poops anywhere in the cage other than the litter box, so it's pretty awesome. So I don't have to do much cleaning. I basically just take all the fleece out, I shake it in the cage a little bit, and then I just stick it in the washer with regular detergent and soap and stuff like that, and it's pretty cool. It's not a lot of work. It's actually cheaper to get fleece more than any bedding. Jessica Carriger asked, update on your ball python, and yeah, Phoenix is doing great. I could bring him out just for a quick sec. And this is Phino. Everybody say hi to Phino. He's doing absolutely wonderful. I just woke him up, so he might not be in the mood too much today, but he's doing really great. He's becoming a big boy, and he's almost full grown. He's only got like maybe one more foot to go, and he's good to go. Isn't that right, Phino? Yes. He is doing wonderful. He is eating like a champ. He is always super sweet. He did bite me not long ago, but it was a feeding mistake, and it was my bad. He was still kind of in the zone, and I put my hand in the cage. So completely my fault, not his, but he's doing wonderful. Alright, you guys, so that is all the questions I am taking for today. If there are some that I left out, of course I know there are some that I left out, so just stick some questions down below about any pets. We'll answer more pet questions. I plan on doing a live stream pretty soon as well. Live streams have been pretty good lately, so yeah, just leave some comments down below on any questions you have about my pets or about pets in general, requested videos, whatever it is, I want to know. And again, thank you guys so much for the support. My channel is escalating pretty quickly, all because of you guys and your support. Don't forget, I have an Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and you guys can follow me there if you want, if you so please, don't forget. And subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and give this video a big thumbs up, especially if you love pets. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!